President Obama spoke to Vice about his legacy, and he admitted that he failed on a key issue.
You know, the one thing I've learned in this job is that I have really progressive policy beliefs, but I'm more conservative when it comes to our institutions. I've seen enough around the world when it comes to the results of complete revolution or upheaval to know that it doesn't always play out real well. You know, our founders had this incredible wisdom to create a basic structure that works to bring about change in a big, diverse, complicated society like ours. And I think those values and those institutions are worth preserving. Going back to your first question, sure. You know, you asked me, had I changed Washington? The answer is I have not changed Washington the way I wanted to change it. And what I worry about in our politics is people getting impatient with the slowness of democracy, and the less effective Congress works, the more likely people are, I think, to start giving up on some of the core values and basic institutions that have helped us to weather a lot of storms.
Yeah, I think he's missing a giant piece of the puzzle, and he's doing it because he's just like the other politicians with this giant piece of the puzzle. You haven't fundamentally changed Washington because Washington is insanely corrupt, and you know that, and you're part of that, and you're fine with that. Because this is the system that got you 2 terms. You raised a shitload of money, and you raised a shitload of money from Wall Street and from billionaires and from corporations and from connected people. So you think, hey, good enough. You can get me elected, and yeah, I'm somebody who's like a centrist, a center-left kind of guy. So I have good beliefs, but I'm conservative when it comes to the institutions. And, you know, you can only, like, this is how he would condescendingly look down on Bernie Sanders during the primary. Like, what Bernie doesn't understand is the real world. The real world is you gotta make compromises, and you gotta do deals, and you gotta find a way to get half measures and be incrementalist in your approach. But Obama, the only reason why you believe that is because of the corrupting influence of money in politics, and because you don't want to piss off those corporations and those donors who gave you the money. So you'll try to do some decent things. Okay, let's, increase the overtime pay for some workers. Let's, let's do a stimulus package to try to save the economy from the brink of recession. So yeah, you're doing better than what a Republican would do in that position. But at the end of the day, you're not really pushing for single payer now, are you? You're not really pushing for universal education, including higher education now, are you? You're not really trying to do fundamental reform. And you're not trying to do fundamental reform because you are the fringe on the left of what the establishment is okay with. So if you step outside of what that is, that spectrum, which they call the Overton window, well then, you're dismissed and you're not a serious person. So his framing there is wrong because he's framing it as, I'm just conservative when it comes to the institutions of the way our government works, but I'm progressive in my policy goals. No, because you didn't even use the institutions the way that you could have used the institutions to get the things done that you wanted to get done. You had a supermajority when you passed Obamacare. You could have gotten at least a public option. You could have gotten single payer. Don't take my word for it. There were Democrats there at the time who said, yeah, we could have gotten it. But what did he do? He didn't know how to play politics. He didn't know how to call the blue dog Democrats into his office and say, if you don't vote for this bill, if you don't vote for single payer, you're done. Your career's over. I will personally campaign against you in the next election. We will primary you. We will help out your opponent, and you'll lose because I'm more popular than you, and I'll go campaign against you. But he didn't do that. And he didn't do that because there was the corrupting influence of money in politics, and he didn't want to piss off the insurance companies. The insurance companies were okay with Obamacare because there's an individual mandate that forces the public to go and give them money and get health insurance. But they weren't okay with the public option. That would have put them out of business. They weren't okay with single payer. That definitely would have put them out of business. So he's misleading you there because he's saying, I'm so progressive when it comes to policy ideals, but I'm conservative when it comes to the institutions. I'm conservative when it comes to the institutions too, in the sense that I like that we have 3 branches of government. I like that we have checks and balances. I would do some reform. I'd get rid of the Electoral College. I'd probably get rid of the Senate and just have the House of Representatives. But by and large, the American system and the checks and the secularism and the Constitution, that's all good. So I'm conservative on those things too. But that's the thing. It's not that he's conservative on those things. He's using this as his out to say, well, that's just how Washington works, is I always cave to the Republicans and I always do centrist things, and I'm corporatist and I'm establishment. But hey, what do you want me to do? I'm progressive. But hey, progressives, just understand, lay down and take it. Lay down and accept that this is the best you're going to get is me. We don't accept that. We don't accept that because you're a mixed bag. You're doing 7 interventions right now. Guantanamo is still open. The NSA is still spying on everybody and their grandma. We're not going to give up at you. It's not like, oh, it's Obama or bust. No, we want an actual progressive. We want an actual liberal. We want somebody who believes in the system, but will work within the system to get the change and will stop at nothing to get it done. He's doing this as defeatism. He's saying, look, man, I believe in what the progressives believe in, but guys, don't be crazy. Don't be unreasonable. I'm conservative when it comes to the institutions. But he's really using that argument to say, it's slow no matter what. He's using that argument to cover for the fact that he's really okay with the money in politics. Because how many times did Obama propose campaign finance reform? 0. He proposed nothing on campaign finance reform. The number one problem facing our politics, money in politics. He's got nothing for us. So that's the problem. You didn't change Washington in the way that you claimed you wanted to change it because you didn't get to the root issue, the fucking virus, the cancer in our system, the money. If you get that money out, you get private donations out, well then it's only the public funding the politicians. So who are the politicians going to represent? They're going to represent the public. But if you have corporations and billionaires and you have donors giving them money, they're going to represent the donors. So excuses for Obama to explain away why he didn't do real progressive stuff. He's a mixed bag, and I'll give him credit where credit is due, like freeing nonviolent drug offenders and stuff. But you could have done a hell of a lot better, and you didn't. And you didn't because you're okay with the money in politics.